My name's Katie McRose, and I'm a professional llama, sheep, and alpaca shearer. For a living, I travel across the Midwest shearing alpacas, llamas, and sheep for small hobby farms. I travel from Texas all the way up to Iowa, from Colorado all the way out to Illinois. I got into sheep shearing by total accident. When I was 14 years old, I watched somebody shear my show goat. And when my mom was on Craigslist, she saw somebody needed her sheep sheared, and my mom was like, "You know how to do that, right?" And I was like, "Totally." So I grabbed a friend and we went out there, and it took us 4 hours to do 7 sheep. And it was horrible. We had no idea what we were doing. I used this shearing thing to pay my way through college, and my wife and I both have a degree in animal science from Texas A&M. Most people have a hard time finding shearers that will come and shear for small flocks, and that's exactly what Darian and I do. We come and help those people who can't find shearers. And really, that's what drives me, being able to help people who don't have anybody else that'll come out and do it. Some of these breeds are so rare and are only kept alive by hobby farmers. So, honestly, I feel like this is what I was supposed to do. Come out there and help these animals and people. It's really hard to describe what an average shearing day would be for us because it varies so much from one day to the next. We might go to one job that has 150, 200 animals, and that'll take us all day. Or we may go to 8 to 14 places in one day that have one sheep, one llama, or 15 sheep at another place. You just never know. We do a lot of traveling, and that's pretty much the only thing that stays consistent. But we wake up in the morning around 6 o'clock, out the door by 7, at the first job around 8, and we don't get back until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. First thing we do when we arrive to a job is we go and check out the shearing area. We ask all of our clients to have the animals pinned before our arrival. That way there's no stress with a stranger trying to move them into a situation that might seem a little weird to them. Now for our alpacas, we do them laying down. We'll put down a tarp so that they can collect the nice fiber, and again we remove that blanket first. That's the most valuable part, and from there, the owner will take that off, store it separately, and we begin down the back legs and the neck and the top knot. When that animal's finished, it gets up and it goes back to the pasture to graze. Now sheep are a little bit different because the clothing that I wear to shear. I wear leather moccasins with no soles in the bottom, which means that my feet are basically barefoot with a little piece of leather over them. In order to keep me from getting injured, I stay on the plywood floor while Darian will go and get the sheep out of the pen and bring them to me for shearing. Now I put them in between my legs, slide one of their front legs back in between my legs, and begin shearing the belly. Once that belly is shorn off, I throw it off to the side because it's very dirty and low quality compared to the rest of the fleece. Now I'll start in with the first hip, shear off the hip, move up the neck, clean off the face, into the body, a couple of long blows, back up the neck and down to the other side. To me, llamas are the easiest animals to shear, but that's just because they're standing. They do come with some cons though. They're big, they're powerful, and they can kick you no matter where you're standing around them. But if I had to pick a most difficult animal, it would definitely be the Angora goat, simply because I don't do a lot of those. They are a totally different game than llamas, alpacas, or sheep. They're extremely flexible, they have super wrinkly skin, and their fiber is immensely dry. My favorite part of the job is by far the interactions I have with the animals. I mean, not to sound cliche, but really that's why I do it, is to help them feel better and to watch them learn. I can go in and work with an animal that might be a little timid, a little scared, and I can build that trust with them to where they will stand perfectly for me in the years to come. And that is extremely rewarding. And to know that I was able to come and help them feel a little better, doesn't get much better than that. Worst part of the job for me is realizing that I can't help everybody, that I can't get to everyone. It's very stressful. I have a lot of people that reach out to us, but we are already servicing 550 farms in just the spring alone. There are so many misconceptions about shearing and wool and fiber industry. The number one being that sheep and llamas and alpacas don't need to be shorn, and that's just blatantly not true. These animals have been selected over thousands of years of domestication to retain their winter coat, which means that if we don't remove it, they wear that all through the summer. And nobody wants to wear a wool coat in the summer. If I could pick one thing for people to take away from watching shearing, is that it's not everything that social media makes it out to be. It's not cruel. People aren't coming out here to hurt animals. We're here to help. And it's a very, very difficult job. It's a very demanding thing to do. But we do it because we're passionate. And I just want people to see that and to realize that we're just human too. At the end of the day, we like videos of cuddly puppies.